Welcome to the Spiritual AI podcast, where we explore the incredible power of our inner intelligence, which I call spiritual AI. Just like a computer uses AI to process data and find solutions, our awareness and intuition can guide us through life with clarity, ease, and purpose. Each week, we'll dive into the transformative tools, spiritual insights, and practical strategies to help you awaken, amplify, and align with your inner power. I'm your host, your friend, your guide, and your fellow student, Leonie Dutoy. Come and join the awareness and intuition revolution. Today, I'm taking you back to last year when I had another podcast called the Sacred Living Podcast. And I wanted to drop the episodes in here because I didn't really want the interviews and the content that I put on there to kind of just get deleted and go to waste, essentially. So sit back, let's rewind and replay. Well, hello, beautiful soul. I trust that you are doing well and that you are living your best and most beautiful life. On today's podcast, I want to dive deep into labels and the way that we need to start letting go of labels and instead focus on something different rather than the label when it's given to us. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, this is what I'm talking about. When we say, I am sick, you have labeled yourself, you've claimed that you are sick. So what you're doing is you're taking that energy on. Labels are things like you have dermatitis. Dermatitis is a label. You take it on, you believe it wholeheartedly, you feed into that energy, and it just becomes a vicious cycle that you're living in, right? You have MS, you have cancer, you have a cold, you have COVID. Those are labels, right? Now, I know at this point, and we are only maybe even a minute into the podcast, there's going to be some people who are triggered, activated by what I've just said, okay? Now, I am not going to argue with anybody. I am just going to run with it, and I'm going to talk about labels and claiming and how we can get around the labels that we've been given by doctors and our peers and whoever it is, right? So I'm not going to go into the heavier stuff like, it's your fault that you have cancer, or it is your fault that you have been, that something's happened to you. I'm not going there. Where I'm going with this podcast is claiming the labels. Now, sometimes I've had clients who, when I say this to them, they don't totally grasp what I'm saying. So I'm going to say this, and if you don't get it, then perhaps maybe you need to come back and listen to it again. Perhaps you need to sit with whatever is coming up for you if you feel a little bit activated. If you don't fully understand it, perhaps you can drop a comment and maybe I can kind of expand on it. But I'm going to try and be as simple and as clear as I can around this. The words that you speak create your reality. There's no doubt about it, right? It's not even just a spiritual thing, it's fact. It's science is catching up. It's a fact. The words that you speak, it's the law of the universe. So when you say, even if when your friend says, how are you feeling today? And you say, oh, I'm actually feeling like I've got this banging headache and, my body is aching. You are claiming that. You are drawing that into your reality. Now, when I say don't claim it, what I'm saying is, don't feed into the energy. I'm not saying that you are not sick and that you are not feeling well. What I'm saying is you don't want to take on that energy and keep repeating it, keep bringing it into your reality by speaking the words. So let me give you a simple example, and maybe this will kind of open it up and make it easy for you to understand. So when my girls, anybody in the household, my two daughters, if they get sick, I ask them to take care of themselves, but stop saying, I am sick. Stop saying that I've got a headache. Stop saying those words. If somebody asks you how you're feeling today, you can say, I'm getting better. because that is a very different frequency from I'm feeling sick or I've got cold. So when you've got a cold or when you're sick or when you receive this label, you need to acknowledge it, right? You need to feel it. You know, if you've got a cold and you've got body aches and pains, acknowledge it. You feel it, but you're not going to keep repeating it over and over and over and over. You're going to take the necessary actions to take care of yourself. And whether it is, taking long, hot steam baths to kind of open up your airways, or whether it is that you do need to have to go to the doctor to get some antibiotics because you've got a massive sinus infection. Take the steps, take a Panadol, whatever it needs. Take the steps to help yourself get better, but don't keep claiming the label. Because if you take the steps to make yourself feel better, take the steps to become healthier, and you are saying, I am getting better, or I am feeling better today than I did yesterday, you are putting a different energy into that label, and you will more than likely come out of it a lot quicker because you haven't claimed it as your own. So this is not going to be a very long podcast. I want to just draw your awareness and your attention to this. Now, you're going to have to really pay attention to your words, because there's people out there even in the spiritual community who I know who have been on this journey for a really long time. But when you listen to their words, I am gobsmacked sometimes to hear the words that come out of their mouth. And then they wonder, why am I stuck in this position? Whether it is health, whether it is relationships, whether it is business, whether it is, manifesting, whether it's money, your words will give you away. So start paying attention to your words. Stop claiming the labels that people and society wants to put on you. I hope that resonates. And if you felt a little bit activated by this conversation, then sit with it. Use this as a gift to show you where there is potentially something that you need to look at. Because when we are activated, when we're triggered, when we're activated, it is a gift from our soul and from the universe to show us where we have potential blocks, limiting beliefs, and patterns that are not serving us. I'm going to leave it there. Stay in awareness, stay connected to your intuition, and let go of those labels, because really, who wants to hold on to those things? Because they're just horrible, nasty little critters. Let them go. Let them in the wild. You don't have to hold on to them. If this resonated deeply with you and you think that any family or friends will benefit from hearing this, please share the podcast with them. And guys, it will only take a couple of seconds for you to go and rate the podcast so that we can reach more people. I have a mission to reach 1 million people and help them tap back into their awareness and their intuition, their spirit senses. So if you take 2 seconds or 3 seconds out of your day, rate the podcast so it can reach more people, then you are supporting me and so many other people, so that we can help wake up the world and bring us back to our spirit senses, awareness, and intuition. Thank you for taking the time. Thank you for sharing it with the world. Thank you for joining me on the Spiritual AI podcast. Don't forget to rate and share the show with your friends. It will only take a few seconds. So go ahead, go and rate the show, share it with a friend, spread the message of the power that we hold within each one of us, our awareness and our intuition. Let's create a revolution. Let's change the world. I'll see you next time.